let's start with the loosehead props. How are Dan Murphy and Jan Thomas after coming off early last week against London Welsh?
The easy one, Jan is available for selection this weekend, so he just had a little bit of cramp at the end of the game. Dan Murphy has had some investigations this week, probably not as bad as we first feared. He's in a brace and on crutches at the minute, but hopefully it won't be too long until we see him back.
So Nick Wood then presumably chomping at the bit and ready to come in?
We're in a very fortunate position with Nick having had a number of games for the A team under his belt. The timing from that point of view has been good, so Nick and Jan will be competing for a spot this weekend.
Everyone else okay?
Yeah, we've maybe 3 or 4 long-term injuries, all of whom are in different stages in recovery and rehab programs. But on the whole, we're in pretty good shape going into this weekend.
And Tom Savage coming back into the mix, is he?
Yeah, Tom will be available. Tom has trained now over the course of the last couple of weeks, and again is available for selection.
And how good to have him back, just because he started the season on fire, didn't he?
He was one of our standout players over the course of the first few weeks. Obviously, we're getting 4 or 5 games go, or 4 games gone. You're at the stage where a few niggles are starting to come in, so you want as much of your squad available as possible each week. And we're delighted if anybody of the calibre of Tom coming back in.
And especially against Leicester, who, even though they're depleted, they'll still front up physically, won't they?
I think Leicester have a few injury problems. Whether I'd say depleted is not necessarily the way I describe it. I think when you look at their squad, the number of internationals that they still are able to put out last weekend, it shows the depth of squad that they have. And I suppose in some ways it shows us the work that we still have to do in terms of bringing our players through to create a squad of the depth that they have.
Do you have to do your homework a little bit more on some of the players they've brought in if they're not quite household names? Because obviously there's a mix at the moment, isn't there, of sort of more established players and less established players with them?
We're at the stage now, I think every team's at the stage now, no matter who you're playing against, you've got to prepare as if you're playing against the best players in the world. And for us, we know what Leicester will bring, we know their strengths and weaknesses. And the challenge for us is, I suppose, after a little bit of the disappointment of last week's performance, is making sure that we are focused very much on ourselves, making sure the things that we need to do well, we do well, and prepared accordingly.